looks like you might, be drunk or have been blowing your nose a lot. Not that anybody this year has been in either of those situations. Guten Morgen, everyone. It's the end of October 2020. Perhaps the worst year ever for Halloween. But I know there are some hardcore Halloween fans out there, just like I am. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to go from this to this. Most beauty tutorials on YouTube, most makeup tutorials on YouTube are about making you look fiercer, making you look
more beat.
Well, this looks like you got beat up. And if you're wondering, why is Morgan so good at this? You might know this from watching the other videos on this channel or from everything I've talked about over on my main channel, The Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I am actually a trained actor, and as part of my college curriculum, I had makeup courses. On top of that, I spent several years working at a historical attraction where a lot of the stories that were told are based on horror, so that kind of helped as well. But let's rewind to me without all this stuff on my face and start from the beginning. If you already have makeup in your house, you probably will basically be able to recreate this look without the professional products that I have, with the exception of one small product. So go grab your eyeshadow palettes and your blushes and everything you have, and as a tribute to 2020, we'll make ourselves look horrible together. The main product that I'm gonna be using, or the kit that I'm gonna be using to create this look, is something that you can buy at your Kryolan store. If you live in a major city that has any kind of theater scene, there's definitely a Kryolan store there. Kryolan is a professional makeup brand that a lot of people don't talk about. Like, you've got Jeffree Star's stuff now, and you've got Trixie Mattel's stuff. All these really great, people who have made, playing around with makeup a really popular, fun thing right now, which is a great thing for young people or anybody to be doing, when you're kind of staying at home. Anyways, people don't talk about Kryolan a lot because it's mostly used by professionals in film and television, and it's not a cool brand, like even MAC is or was. Do people still talk about MAC? Anyhow, I'm sure they deliver too, and this is one of their cream color circles. They have all these kits set up. So if you have a specific look you have in mind, they probably have a kit set up for it already. So this is a cream color circle. There's a lot of them. And the name of this cream colored circle is literally burned skin. Burned skin. So I just went to the Kryolan store here in Hamburg this afternoon and picked this up, and oh shoot, that was a terrible unboxing, wasn't it? Here, let me do that again. Better. And this has several different colors in it, and I'm gonna use probably all of them to make this happen. In order to make this look really realistic and to make yourself look really horrible, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is sort of even out and pale down your skin tone. If you have a skin tone like I do, I'm kind of tan right now, you can make it look paler with a lighter base, or a concealer or something that's much lighter than your skin tone. Like I said, these are things that if you already have been playing around with makeup, or somebody in your household plays around with makeup, these things are probably already gonna be there. So look for some kind of base color that's lighter than your skin. If you have darker or really dark skin, instead of make you just look lighter, you wanna look ashy, because like I said, it's about making yourself look not good. So in this palette, this little wheel, I'm gonna use this color here. And at the moment, because I'm kind of tan, it's definitely, well, let's see. Yeah, that's paler than I am. So this is a beauty blender, like I said, something that you probably have in your house already if you have makeup in your house, and I've made it wet, and I'm just gonna go in here. I'm using the monitor as my mirror. I'm just gonna go in here and dab this around my face. Here's the thing, if you make it too light, if you have a skin color like mine and then you choose white and then you just blend it in all together, then you're gonna look like a porcelain doll, which is also an interesting look, but that's not this look. So get a lighter base and don't blend it perfectly. The trick is to make your skin, look like it's not healthy. And if you've got a perfectly blended base on, then you're kind of defeating the purpose. Know what I mean? Here's another thing. Around your eyes, usually you know, you're kind of red. There's kind of some discolorations and some, you know, some areas around the eyes that already sort of make you look old and tired. Old and tired? Who's feeling old and tired in 2020? So like I said, don't blend it perfectly and leave the area around your eyes because it already is helping you look not good, probably. I've got some facial hair growing here right now, and we don't need to put base on that. But of course, if you don't have hair on your face, then you need to do all of this and, you know, basically all of your neck and your ears. So can you see now how already there's just something about my face that looks kind of off and wrong? And that's because it's sort of lighter and it's not perfectly blended. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is add some shadows, because people who are sickly, people who are dead, zombies, whatever, they're usually not, you know, like well-fed, well-rested. And so to get that hungry, emaciated look, we need to make some things look a little sunken in. And I'm using another product that's not in the wheel. However, if you have makeup at home, whatever you've been using to do your darker contouring of your face, that's what you're gonna take now. And I'm using a Kryolan paint stick. This is number NG2, and it's a darker brown color. If you don't wanna get that product, or you don't have a darker sort of base at home and you just want to use whatever comes on this wheel, then I would mix some of the darker red here, it's called Lake, with the base to just make it a little bit darker. And so now we're going to start using a brush. If you don't have makeup brushes at home, if you don't want to buy a makeup brushes can be really expensive. You can also buy really well-made ones at the drugstore as well. You can definitely use Q-tips. Why not? I'm using this brush from Kryolan. It's number 9712. It looks like this, and people go crazy with using different brushes to do makeup, and I'm not criticizing that, but I just want to let you know that I use this brush, or a brush in this size, for basically everything.
I love it.
Good, so let's go in here and I'm gonna load up my brush with this color, and the first thing I wanna do is scrunch up my eyes like this and look for the places where it already, you know, sinks in on its own. And that is what we are going to accentuate, because, you know, people who've been dead for a while, people who have been starving for a while, you know, maybe because Uber Eats doesn't deliver to your area, their eyes look tired and either puffy or sunken in, and that's what we're trying to replicate. So I kind of go like this and look for that crease, and then I accentuate it with this darker color. And I'm using a really light touch because for that really realistic look, you don't want it to be too dark, you don't want it to be too defined, and you definitely don't want it to be symmetrical, all right? So I got a little bit here, we'll do a little bit over here on this side, pressing very lightly. I'm gonna blend this then up and around into this area. It's kind of like a, I don't know, a weird reverse smoky eye. I'm already looking pretty awful, isn't it great? Let's do a little bit more here on the outer side of the eye. And when you load up your brush here in the makeup, of course, do it like this, or, you know, a lot of people will put it on their hand or on some kind of palette and take it from the palette, but don't, like, you know, dig it in there and like swirl it around. Do it like this. So I've got a lot of product on there, or a lot of, you know, the makeup on there, and can you see how it's very, like, it's very pointed? That's really good. So if I don't press hard, I can still get a very, you know, a pretty like fine line by not pressing hard. That's why I love this size brush. So I'm gonna do a little bit over here. Like I said, pressing very lightly. By the way, you guys, if you are going to some kind of Halloween party or Halloween event, and you really wanna impress people and you're gonna do this, practice. Do it, like, go get the stuff a couple days before the party and practice it a few times. You know, don't go out and buy this like on your way home from work on the night of the party and sit down with me in front of the computer and try to do this. That's not how you're gonna be able to achieve the best result, you know? So I'm blending this out with my finger a little bit. And like I said, remember, symmetry is not good. And then to blend it out, you turn it like flat. There we go, so that's a little bit better. Now, I'm also gonna do this here. These are called the nasolabial folds. It sounds kind of erotic, doesn't it? So you kind of like, you know, do this and you can see where it comes up. This is another thing that, like, if you want it to look really realistic, don't press really hard. And like I said, don't make it symmetrical. So I'm gonna blend this out with my fingers. How's that look? Horrible? Great. Okay, so sticking with this darker color, whether you use the NG2 paint stick or you've mixed it up together or you have some other kind of darker contouring product that you use, I'm gonna use this beauty blender again or a sponge and put some of that on here. And now we're gonna go in and make our temples and our cheeks look a little more sunken in as well, just by sort of gently applying this and blending it in. You don't really need a lot. It shouldn't be like a defined dark, you know, like splotch on the side of your head. It's just to sort of give the illusion that the skin is kind of sagging in there. Marcus is just coming home. He doesn't know I'm doing this. So the temples are looking pretty good. And then also do this part of your cheek. You know, like when you go like this or suck it in, that's the look you want. You want to look, you want, you know, like that Kate Moss 1990s sunken cheekbones look. In a way, it looks kind of nice to have, you know, that like these defined cheekbones, but on the other hand, also not healthy. So I've done, I would say almost a little bit too much. It's starting to look like, oh, he's got makeup on. And not like, is he okay? And you know, ideally for a really realistic look, the reaction that people should have is first, what's wrong? And not, great makeup, you know what I mean? And so I think I might have done just a little bit too much here, but I'm gonna leave that. So depends on what you're wearing. If people can see this part of your body, then you need to do some shading there as well. And I'm gonna show you, I guess I put on the wrong thing for this look, but do a little bit down here, like where your, you know, where these veins are next to your throat, to make that look a little more sunken in as well. And right here too. That just makes you look a little bit like more skinny and emaciated. And to tell you the truth, since the last time I've done this look, I've gained a wrinkle here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of accentuating of that too. Anything on your face that makes you look older or more spent, make it bigger. Like I said, using just a really light touch. It shouldn't look like you've drawn a line on your face. You just need to accentuate where that skin falls in or goes in instead of out. Not bad. So already I think I'm looking pretty terrible, but the next step is something that I always really enjoy, because like when you do this, that's when I feel like it really starts to come together. And that is using a lighter red color. You can use a lipstick or whatever to make your eyes and your nose and your lips look irritated. Irritated. If that's not a word to describe our mood for 2020. So like I told you, I love to just use the same single brush, and before I move into the red color, I'm gonna have to wash it. I'm just using a makeup wipe here to kind of pull the excess pigment out of this brush. Like I said, if you've got makeup in your house, I'm sure you've got makeup wipes already. Otherwise, use, you know, some kind of lotion or just soap and water and gently rinse the brush. I think I'm good to move on. And I'm going back to this color wheel that I got and just using this red color. I'm going to load up the brush, but then I'm gonna test it once on the back of my hand just to see how much. Yeah, so that's like a lot. So I wanna kind of use some of this up. Good, I think I've used up quite a bit of this. Like I'm just seeing what it's like when I press it on my hand with a lot of pressure and not a lot of pressure. So I'm gonna go in now and sort of trace the underside of my eye, starting from the inside, and just gently brush on some red. Like I said, not symmetrical, don't make it perfect. Do a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe just a little splotch over here. And you see how that like automatically just makes you look more tired and sick? Another place that really helps if you put red on it to make you look horrible is around the side of your nose. And just, you know, maybe just stipple a little bit around here, up your nose. Looks like you might, you know, be drunk or have been blowing your nose a lot. Not that anybody this year has been in either of those situations. And then, this isn't gonna be really easy to see because of my beard, but if you take some of this and do it on the corner of your mouth as well. Oh, a little bit too much there. Let's blend this out. On the corners of your mouth and lips, sort of. Just a little bit here, a little bit there, but definitely the corners. That helps so much to give you that awful looking look. Okay, so this is your basic look, and this is already, you know, quite a change. And, you know, this would be enough for a lot of looks, but we're gonna take it one step further and give ourselves some wounds now. And this is something that I just really also enjoy doing. I feel like it looks really awful, and this is like the icing on the cake. And in order to really do it well, this is where one product comes into the place, or comes into play, that I'm assuming you probably don't have at home, and I don't really know any good substitute for it. And that is a product from Kryolan called Fresh Scratch. This is the smallest size, and I'm gonna put the price of it on the screen here. And once again, I am terrible at opening things that have like a foil top on it. This always happens to me. How do you avoid this? Oh, it's so annoying. And now I'm gonna get this all over my fingers. Anyways, we'll get back to this in a second, but first we have to prepare the area under where we're going to apply this amazing product. A lot of times when you see people at Halloween parties that have made themselves up to look like they're injured, then they've taken some kind of red color and just like made like a streak across their face. Or if they want to make it look like somebody's, you know, like slit open their throat, then they just take some kind of red color and draw a line across their throat and then, you know, use fake blood to make it drop down there. I'm not saying that's bad, but it's really quite easy to make it look even more realistic with just a couple easy steps that we're gonna go through right now. So when you've really injured yourself, when you've got a cut someplace, it's not just about having a red streak. It's like the skin around it is also injured and irritated. So using the same color wheel, I'm gonna go into this darker red here, this sort of like burgundy color. Where should we, let's make it look like, I don't know, we've hit our nose on something. So I'm gonna take this, and like I said, with light pressure and not doing anything symmetrically. You don't wanna just, you know, like press down and make a streak like that, because then it looks like makeup and not real. I'm gonna sort of let my brush dance across my nose like this. Just kind of, you know, feel like Bob Ross. It's just gonna live right here. I love Bob Ross. Did you guys watch Bob Ross? If you don't know who Bob Ross is, Google him. I think there's videos of him on Netflix now, and probably on YouTube, and just really interesting and very relaxing. As a kid, I used to watch that when I'd come home from school, and it would always put me to sleep. So I've got this now, and I'm gonna just use the back of my finger to sort of pat it a little bit. There we go, step one. Step two is to now, actually, I'm gonna have to clean my brush again. Clean your brush. Step two to making a wound like this look realistic is to go and then take some of the lighter red color, not too much, and add that sort of into some of the other areas around that skin where we're gonna make our wound. And like I said, if you've ever really had like an, you know, like a gash on the side of your face or something, or on your arm or whatever, you know, it has several different colors to it, not just red. I'm gonna use this magical brush again, and I've got it now so that it's not pointy, and I'm gonna use that to do a technique called stippling, and that's where you press it in like this to get some like textural dots. Not too much, not too hard, and not symmetrical. It's kind of the theme of this, right? Good, so that's the preparation. That's like the irritated skin under the wound. And I mean, that already looks really gross, right? But let's do the icing on the cake now and use this amazing, special effects product called Fresh Scratch. It's like a paste. So, what's it? Yeah, it's like jelly kind of. And what I do is I take the back of my brush. You can use a Q-tip, or if you have long fingernails, you can use the edge of your fingernail. And I'm gonna just get some of this product on here. And now go in and apply it to my face to make it look like a scab. So it starts drying and then it gets a little bit harder to work with, but that's okay. That's kind of what you want. Like I said, you don't want it to look symmetric. You guys, the camera stopped recording and I don't know how much of it got on there. So I'm at the step now where I'm using this Fresh Scratch, this amazing special effects jelly to make the scabby like cut area. And I've got some on the back of my brush now, and I'm gonna just, you kind of have to like put it on one place and then pull it out to make it look as realistic as possible. When you have a scar or a scab or an injury that's a couple days old, then the scab starts to sort of break off and come off in chunks and flakes, and that's kind of the look I'm going for here. So this part is still, was like maybe deeper, and then here it's a little bit less, you know what I mean? Like the scab's sort of starting to come off. And this is another thing that if you put it on the corners of your nose here, can also make it look like you're somebody who has had a bloody nose and hasn't cleaned it up. You know what I mean? I think I'll do this side too, although symmetry is not good for this kind of look. And then you can also put some in the corners of your mouth. Do not put it in your eyes. Maybe we'll put some here. Make it look like really chapped lips. That might be too much, but it's not like this year hasn't driven us to extremes already, right? So if you've made it this far, then I mean, it already looks pretty darn awful, which is the look we're going for. But there's one more thing you can do. Like if you really want to make it look like you're a zombie or somebody who's been living under a bridge, then there's one more thing you can do that is so easy, that really solidifies the look and takes it from, looking like a Halloween makeup to looking more realistic. And that is, you have to make yourself also look dirty. And I don't mean dirty, like haven't showered in 3 days. I'm not saying that like during the last few months, I haven't showered in 3 days. I'm talking about like just crawled out of, the darkest corner dirty. So I'm gonna use this drugstore eyeshadow. It's a powder. And if you have any kind of dark brown or black powder, that's gonna be perfect. And here's the trick to make it look really real. Take a Kleenex and crumple it up, like loosely crumple it up, so you have like a stamp here where it's all different layers. Here's another thing where symmetry is gonna make it look, I was gonna say worse, but we want it to look bad. Symmetry is not gonna help you achieve the look, let's say there. So I've got like my little stamp here with all these different textures, and then I'm gonna sort of rub this in here to get the powder on the, do you see that? It's like on the edges of the texture. And then you just kind of press it, not everywhere, around on your skin, and it just gives you that sort of dirty look. And when you've done it a few times, then change like the structure again, like crumple it up in a different direction, and make sure, be careful when because if you've already done this much of your face and then you get to this stage and then you mess it up, it's a long way back to fix it. All right, I'm gonna kind of go for it over here. Maybe just a little bit here. Try not to like put it on and then pull it. That's gonna look like makeup again. And definitely don't forget your ears. So once you've got that, go to some of the areas and you can kind of like smudge it out a little bit so it doesn't look so much stamped in. Get some of this back up into my hairline. And of course, you know, to really complete the look, then you should put on some like ripped up clothes, and you need to mess up your hair as well, because you know, what zombie has perfect hair and beautiful clothes, right? So let me fix my hair and I'll be right back. You guys, I didn't have to mess up my own hair because I just grabbed that ugly wig that I bought for the video I did a couple weeks ago. And it already looks horrible, so isn't that great? I should put some leaves in it or something. But so yeah, that's the complete look. What do you guys think? Are you gonna do this? If you do this, please send me a picture of it. You can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Morgan O'Brien. Or of course, you know, I have a Facebook page for my other channel, The Very Unofficial Travel Guides. You can find me over there as well. And whatever you end up doing for Halloween, I hope you're happy, I hope you have fun, and I hope you do it in a safe way for you and the people around you. And I also hope that the rest of your 2020 turns out really well. And I would really look forward to seeing you here again. So if you haven't done it already, subscribe, press the thumbs up, that will really help, and check back soon. See you later. And I just want to let you know that if you're really into this, or if you know somebody who's into makeup and makeup artistry, whether it's to make yourself look awful like we're doing today, or make yourself look pretty, I'm using products today from Kryolan that don't sponsor me. I've been using these since the first time I went on stage when I was 10 years old back in South St. Paul, Minnesota. And I really like these products, even though a lot of people don't talk about them. They're more for professionals. I'm probably gonna repeat myself in this video, but what I wanted to say is, if you have a Kryolan store in your town, you can go there and they will teach you how to do looks. You can set up a whole like workshop for yourself, whether you want to learn how to do smoky eyes or something like this, or if you want to like surprise, you know, your daughter or somebody with a makeup workshop. That's just a really good way to do it. And the only reason I'm talking about this, like I said, I'm not sponsored. They have no idea I'm doing this, is because I think playing with makeup and doing stuff like this is a really fantastic hobby. And of course, there's all sorts of beauty gurus online nowadays, like Jeffree Star and Nikki Tutorials and all that. And they do really great work and they teach people stuff. But you know, to take it to the next level, it's really nice to like actually be someplace with a real person to do it, you know, with you and teach you actually how to do it from a technical standpoint as well. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.